So we're here at EdibleAcres, and we're right next to the home. This is where my folks live, and my mom has expressed to me that she's having a harder time gardening lately. She's in her late 70s, and being able to get down low and dig and pull weeds is starting to get to be too straining for her. So I thought I would document the process. My friend Liam and I are going to install for her hay bale gardens. And I just found on Craigslist the other day $1 a bale for hay. You may have seen straw bale gardens versus hay bale. I'll explain that in more detail in a minute. I actually prefer hay. And so what we're going to do is convert this area of the lawn into raised beds using just hay bales, some burlap sacks that were inoculated with wine cap mushroom to suppress the grass, and then compost on top. So stick with us and we'll show you that whole process. I think it might only take us an hour or two. We'll see. So that's my good friend Liam on the right. We do a lot of projects together. It's awesome. And these are most of our raw ingredients. Rotten stuff and squares of things. This is burlap that's been inoculated with wine cap. We're going to hustle to get this out of the sun pretty soon. This will mulch our walkways and be covered in hay. So hopefully we get mushroom production as well. And then these are the hay bales. I put 44 on the truck, and I'm mulching a lot in the woods, but we're going to build the garden beds out of these two basic ingredients and then compost on top. So burlap's applied thickly where the walkway will be. This tub's going to move. It hasn't really worked as a rain catchment. We'll put a 55-gallon drum up against the house, but this will come out in the fall, and we can work around that. So the burlap's laid thickly. We're going to put flake hay all over that. That's the walkway. Where the bales go, I don't think we'll need to do any sort of sheet mulching. The bales are so thick that I don't suspect the grass will come through, but we'll see. Le tigre. So for those of you that were wondering what the heck I was talking about when we first started, hopefully this is making more sense. They literally look like beds. This was Liam's idea, which I thought was really slick, is we lay them next to each other but have the middles laying flat, so the baling wire goes around the top and the end standing up on the end, so we can fill these with a lot more compost in that way. So we'll go about 6 inches with finished compost on the top of these and then soak them really thoroughly with rainwater. And right now we're finishing getting a deep hay mulch all the way around. There's real nice generous walkway space, 2 feet plus in there, and then we'll hammer in 6-foot locust staves on the north, the south, and one in the middle, and those will be permanent fixtures that my mom can then run string and do cucumbers or peas or tomatoes or some vertical crop through the middle of each bed. So far this is 1/2 hour of labor and $12 worth of mulch hay for 2 beds that are 3 feet by 10 feet and should be 100% organic matter for at least 1.5 feet. I'd say pretty good. We'll take another shot once we get some compost on there. Thanks, Liam. Liam's putting the compost on. We're lucky here. Been accumulating horse manure and wood chips and pine boughs and woody debris and making charcoal and hay and all this kind of stuff for years and years, and so I have some piles of compost that are 4 to 5 years old, loaded with charcoal, super rich. But I think you could either buy topsoil, you could take older rotting hay, take old leaves from the woods, probably lots of options. But now, I'm saying we, but we're watching just Liam do the work. We're hard at work applying the compost on top, and we'll cover these bales entirely as deep as we can without it tumbling off the side, and then we'll gently soak them really thoroughly with rainwater to wash all that nutrient down and into the beds. And that should be that. These 2 beds are going to be just under an hour in total for us to build. So pretty much spot on 1 hour of work for the 2 of us to put these 2 beds in. And that was with us kind of figuring out what we're trying to do, move the resources around, etc. Again, I found they are hay bales on Craigslist. So I look on Farm and Garden on Craigslist for mulch hay. Now here's the part of the video where I address people's concerns. Well, why would you use hay over straw? Most people call these straw bale gardens, and that's what a lot of people prescribe using. I am a huge advocate of using hay over straw for a few reasons. One, unless you're buying straw from a certified organic farmer, the very most likely scenario is that straw you're paying for has been sprayed with glyphosate to dry down the wheat crop or the rye crop. That's very, very common. So you're buying toxic bales a lot of times, unless you're buying premium organic. And then around here, there's $6 a bale. Straw also takes a long time to break down. It's almost pure carbon, so it really doesn't turn into rich soil unless lots of compost is applied. Whereas hay, which is meant to feed animals, is green dried grass and other, weeds, sure, but as hay breaks down, this will break down into actual finished compost. It's a great texture as well, and there's a lot of diversity of form in here. And hay is almost always, at least in our area, half the price of straw. And then mulch hay is either free or sometimes $1 or $2 a bale. So that's my preference. And then the question will be, well, won't there be weeds that come up in your hay bales? And yes, that's quite possible, but so will they come up in straw bales. You'll see wheat and rye come up as well. So I'd rather have the lower cost, lower toxicity, higher compostability solution with this. So I always seek out hay. That's my feeling on it. But either way, each bed costs us $6 in hay bales, so that's $12. And the compost we made ourselves from rotting wood chips, old manure, and biochar. I've got tons of other videos where I talk about those things in detail. And my mom will be back in about an hour and be excited to see what she thinks of them. We'll do some update videos to show how things grow. Thank you very much for watching.